My 22F boyfriend 24M is a passport bro, whatever that mean, and I had no idea. I've been with my boyfriend for 8 months. Things have been going really well between us up until a few days ago. A little backstory. I'm from a Central European country, and he's American. He said he settled in my country because of work opportunities. We met in a coffee house where I work as a barista. We clicked instantly and started going out a few weeks later. Everything was so good, and we had so much fun. Fast forward to last week. He asked me to help him with some documentation. I was happy to, as I know my language is hard to understand and even translate sometimes. When I was searching online on his laptop, I stumbled upon some weird websites. They were all about passport bros. I didn't even know what the hell that was at first, and basically had tips on how to settle in foreign countries, where to find a traditional bride, which country has the most beautiful women, etc. I was shocked and so confused. I know I shouldn't have done it, but I wanted to gain some clarity and checked his profile on one of these websites. He had full-on conversations about Eastern European countries, European women, how easy or hard it is to take them out on dates, if it would be better to settle down in Asia instead, and so on. He decided to settle down in my country. I feel dehumanized and like he fetishes me and the women in my country. Also, our whole relationship has been built on a lie because he told me he settled down here because he got a job offer. After I found all this stuff, I quickly took a few pictures as proof and then made up an excuse to come home. He tried to reach out a few times, but I told him I don't feel well, so we can't meet up right now. I can't even look at him. I feel so disgusted. Am I overreacting? How can I confront him about all this? Update. I wanted to come on here and reply to a few things and give a little update. I had no idea the last post was going to blow up so quickly and get so many comments. For this reason, I didn't go into too many details in my last post. 1. When I read his comments on those websites, it felt dehumanizing and fetishizing. They were making stereotypes about us that are either untrue or outdated. We have all kinds of women here, just like in other countries. Some like to party, some don't. Some are looking for flings, some want long-term relationships, and some want to stay single and childless forever. It's not true that most of us are submissive women who obey our husbands. Try telling that to a Central European woman face to face and see her reaction, haha. 1. He told me he only came for work. And it's funny we met because he wasn't planning on getting into a relationship. Judging by his comments online, it was a lie. And he came here to look for a traditional wife. 2. Surprisingly, he never actually told me that he wanted a traditional relationship. He doesn't do anything that's considered traditional in my culture either. I work hard for my own money and go to university, so I don't want to be a housewife or stay-at-home mom in the near future. We've talked about this, so he knows. What worries me is that someone online told him to start a relationship and then try to make it more traditional over time. I don't know if that's what he's trying to do or if he's changed his mind. I have no way of knowing and don't want to take the risk of wasting my time. 3. He works at an IT company allegedly. I've never been to his workplace, so I have no proof of this. It might be my naivety to think it's true, but we have a lot of companies like this in my country, and a lot of foreigners work in IT in the capital city, so who knows. 4. Traditional woman and traditional relationship can mean different things in different countries, depending on culture and social norms. He wants a traditional woman by American standards, but that's not the same as what we consider a traditional woman here. It's pretty clear from his online comments that he has no clue about this difference. It's offensive because it shows he knows nothing about our culture and history and is just relying on stereotypes and outdated assumptions. 5. Some people in the comments tried to justify his desire for a traditional wife, stating that European women should be happy and understanding about this. But what does he bring to the table? Why should a traditional Central European woman choose him instead of a man from our country who speaks our language, knows our customs and traditions, grew up in our culture, and respects us according to our standards? To imply that I should be grateful that an American man chose me like I'm some product is offensive and makes me look like I'm inferior. Very weird logic, sorry. 6. Some people commented that my post was rage bait or fake because of my English or because Central European women won't think like this. This just proves the ignorance some people have about my country. Women here have careers, open their own businesses, or learn to become doctors, lawyers, beauticians, chefs, etc. Most of us in younger generations have modern mentalities except for some villages, but villagers probably won't go for an American man who doesn't know a thing about our country. Most of us have learned a second language since we were 6, 8 years old. My niece literally goes to a bilingual kindergarten and learns 2 languages at the age of 3. So I'm not sure why it's so far-fetched that people here speak English well. We are not some idiots who have no idea about the modern world. Most of us speak at least 1 or 2 foreign languages, usually English and German, sometimes Spanish, except the boomers and Gen X. They had to learn Russian back in the day. I also use an app to double-check my grammar. Guilty as charged. And to the person who said that Central European countries are basically the same as England or France, it sounds like someone failed their history class. Please don't be ignorant and educate yourself. 1. I told my boyfriend X now that I'd like to break up with him. We had a small conversation on the phone, and I told him I wasn't in a position to continue the relationship for personal reasons. At first, he was confused and tried to convince me not to break up, but then he accepted it. 2. To the comments that suggested it, and thank you for the idea, by the way. I posted my story in local groups so other women can be aware of this whole passport bro thing and hopefully not fall victim to men like this. As expected, they found the whole thing disgusting and were grateful for the heads up. We are not here for others' enjoyment or to fulfill some submissive wife fantasy of someone who looks at us as stereotypes rather than individuals with varying personalities and preferences. 3. I'm not against foreigners or mixed couples. My brother-in-law is Arab, speaks my language, and knows my culture. We also speak some Arabic and know and respect his culture too. He didn't come here as a SX tourist, but as an actual worker who wanted to change his life. If you go to a country, go because you're interested in it and want to learn about a new culture or have some great opportunities, not because you want to desperately lie to women just so you can get into a relationship or get some SX. I can't speak for everyone in my country, but most people won't tolerate this behavior and will judge passport bros negatively. It's hypocritical to want a traditional wife, but constantly move from country to country and woman to woman. That behavior definitely isn't considered traditional, at least not in my country, haha. If you want casual relationships, that's fine, because there are women here who want the same, but just be honest about it. Thank you again for all the comments, explanations, and advice. They were eye-opening and really helpful. Even though I'm disappointed and feel a bit used, I'm grateful that I know the whole truth now. We live and we learn, I guess. Second story. My boyfriend all of a sudden became more intimate after watching something on the internet. I 27F have been with my boyfriend 28M for 2.5 years now. Our relationship didn't have any problems. Until recently, he started being less intimate with me. He blames it on work and other things. We hardly have time for each other. I once sat him down to talk to me. I expressed my feelings that we are not having SX as often as we did, and that we should have something to talk about it. We had hours of talk and came to the solution that we should track back to the times we started dating. He was good to me. He brought me flowers and left me love notes. We had more passionate SX. But that stopped after 3 weeks. I thought this time we should have a serious talk about our relationship and where it is going. I tried to talk to him, but he just told me he was really exhausted. I know people would normally tell me that he is cheating on me, but I have yet to get any suspicion of it. We still know each other's passwords. I haven't found anything yet. After weeks of withholding SX and intimacy from me, he was very lovey-dovey. He would cook for me and clean the house without even having to tell him. He was very intimate with me. That day, he set up a romantic mood for me and pampered me. So we took things to our bedroom. He was really gentle at first, but then got rough. It felt good. We were going through a dry spell during that time. When I was about to finish, he choked me and said, "I will cheat on you, you effing slut." I froze. I didn't finish, but he did. I don't know what came to me. I was filled with rage. I kicked him out of my bed. And he had the nerve to act shocked, like he hadn't done anything wrong. I was screaming, "Get out." I was on full rampage. I was pushing him out of my bedroom, not caring that he was only able to get his underwear and that I was naked. I was able to kick him out in the middle of the night and tell him to never show his face or I will unalive him. We do not live together, so no, he won't be homeless. I am still a bit shaken by what happened. He kept blasting my phone and I overreacted. Update. I didn't realize I had to give an update so soon. But my stupid, brain-dead ex finally gave a justification for why he said that. I think it's worth knowing because I am still thinking about it. So last night, he texted me and said that he wanted to apologize for what he had done. He told some of his friends, hoping that they would take his side, but most of them said he was crazy and stupid. So I arranged a meetup at a random restaurant. I will not risk him being at my home after what he did. I also took his stuff in a bag. I am done with him. No matter what excuses he has, it's not enough to justify what he did. So today, we met for lunch. And he immediately begged for forgiveness as soon as he saw the bag full of his stuff. He told me he made a mistake. He was stupid to think this would actually work on me. He only realized he was wrong when his friends told him he was a psycho for saying something like that. I asked him, why did he think something like this would actually work? That sob gave the dumbest explanation in human history. He has been watching a lot of Manosphere podcasts, mostly for financial advice. He started watching a very infamous person who is now in jail for human trafficking. I can't say his name because I once got a warning. But you guys know who he is. He is a tater tot. So my ex told me he saw one of his videos where he teaches how to reprogram a woman. That's why he has been withholding sex and only giving me intimacy at random times when I was very vulnerable. Oh, and the part where he chokes me and says, "I will cheat on you," was also from that tater tot video. My bonehead ex explains that if you tell a girl that you will cheat on her while she is about to finish, it will be programmed into her brain. So the next time you cheat or mention cheating, it will make her horny, and she will not revolt. Look, I have been taking computer programming classes online for a while. But I know for sure that this is not how programming works. But anyway, I don't know whether to laugh or to cry. I asked him, why did he feel the need to say it? He told me he was afraid I would cheat on him, so he wanted to create this in my head, so that I would never think about cheating on him. But he swears that he will not cheat. Yeah, sure, I believe that. My blood was boiling. I wanted to yell, but swallowed all my anger. At the end, I stood up and told him, well, now you know it doesn't. And word of advice: stop following a human trafficker and stop taking relationship lessons from a guy who is toxic and has an ick equivalent to a potato. Otherwise, you will have to date your right hand for the rest of your pathetic existence. He whined and said to give him a second chance, and I just told him I would rather stick my head in a hornet's nest than give an innocent man like him a second chance. He is 28. He is almost in his 30s and still listens to men like Tater Tot. He has no personality for himself. He just borrowed his from a sex trafficker. Well, that's it. I cannot believe I was dating a Tater Tot. I think I need to take several showers now. I didn't even ask him if he was cheating or not. But does it really matter now? Edit. So I have been getting messages and some comments, mainly from people who are supporting me. I want to say thanks. I know it's a really stupid thing that someone would say something like that while they were having sex. It is still hard for me to believe it. But I guess some people are just as stupid as my ex. From your reposter. I saw a comment asking if anyone had a link to the video in question. I took one for the team and found it. All of those trigger warnings again because this tatesh is just vile. Thank you for watching the video. Simply subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends.